Welcome back, parents. So as you guys know, we are doing a series, our back to school series, to kind of help you with navigating the transition that your children are about to go through as school starts up. So in today's video, the question that we are going to answer is, what are the signs parents should be on the lookout for as it relates to their youth, their kids, their teens, whichever one? And first things we want to address is when you're watching what's going on with your child, don't just look at the emotional pieces, okay? Look at what's happening behavior-wise, because realistically, your child may have an attitude, and that's no surprise. I mean, you made them, they might have yours. We don't always like to get back what we see in our kids because it's a replication of us. But at the same time, a shift in a mood is not the same thing as a change in behavior. So you might observe things like withdrawing from friends or activities that they used to enjoy, changes in their appetite, changes in their sleep. Are they sleeping more, eating less, sleeping less? Irritability, they're constantly irritable, they get easily angry, or it just seems disproportionate to what the actual event is. So this is when you have something that would be typically small and it feels like your kid just completely crashes out because of that thing, right? A drop in their academic performance. So were they doing better at school and then all of a sudden there's this big massive decline. Avoidance, refusal, they don't want to go back to school. They're constantly avoiding it. They're constantly refusing to go despite you trying to push them. You might have physical complaints. This is a big one, guys, because a lot of times kids will make complaints about what's going on with them physically, and they're constantly sent to the nurse's office. You're constantly called and asked to take them to a doctor to get evaluated. It might be things like they have stomach aches, they have headaches, just discomfort that you notice consistently comes up when it comes to school period. And that means that you've gotten a doctor to look at this, and the doctor's like, yeah, your child is fine. There's nothing wrong with them medically. That might be a reason to seek out support. You might also see things like increased secrecy or defensiveness. If you have an angsty teen, you've probably experienced this before, where you're trying to tune in and figure out how you can support them and help them, and they're like, leave me be, right? So you might see an increase in that, and you want to be able to address that. And it's especially around phone use, social media use, with the way AI is interjecting itself into a lot of spaces. It's really important that you pay attention to that. If they're being really self-critical, or maybe they feel like they're using hopeless language, this is super important as it relates to our teens. We're seeing suicide in even younger kids. If you're watching this, your child is not completely absolved of the idea of attempting suicide or even completing it. So please be aware, from a child therapist to you, that it is really important that you pay attention into that shift. If you hear your child being really critical of themselves, if you hear your child kind of speaking as if they're hopeless and don't really think they should be here, stay here, these are things to pay attention to. And then for older teens, if you hear them always talking about them not being here, how things would be better if they were just gone, or they don't want to be here anymore, life's hard, they just want to die. Things like that are things that you want to pay attention to. So the big thing for parents is that you're watching for the shift, not the mood. So when it seems like they keep having mood swings, that may just be their hormones. That just may be them developmentally growing through the stage that they're in. But if you're seeing behavioral shifts, that is definitely something to be more alert about and to bring them in for support. This would be something that lasts for a day, or two, versus something that's lasted a week or a month. Then you might have things like somatic stomach complaints, headaches, somatic, anything. If there's no medical cause for it, might be time to cue in a therapist. And then likewise, if it's withdrawal. Withdrawal is the loudest sign that there is, right? If your kid is happy-go-lucky, bubbly, and then all of a sudden they are just completely shut out from the world, they're isolating, cause for concern. So tune in, pay attention, and see if you notice any of these behavioral shifts as your child gets ready to start the school year. Otherwise, we'll see you in our next video. Bye.